And we're live.
Or now I can just... Nice job, high four.
One shot, one kill. Ronnie did.
Now introducing your Butthole Podcast, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamar.
What's up, girl?
I love the butthole.
Love the butthole. And speaking of butthole, Star Lamar, kick off.
Episode 245 the right way.
244.
Big news. Very brave man, Carl Nassib, just hours before this podcast, came out as a gay man. First active NFL player to come out as gay. He plays for the Raiders. And he's first to do it.
In other breaking news, Scott is a super fan of the Raiders now.
The funniest part about that whole thing is we set that all up off the top of the cast, and Gage just hit me with the dagger. I'm proud of you, Gage.
That was the Uno reverse card.
Carl Nassib jersey
reverse.
is on order. In other news, Star Lamar, Najee Harris. You saw a little snippet on Instagram.
Yes, I did. They had him as like the fourth or fifth best player in the draft for fantasy over guys like Delvin Cook, Austin Eckler. I'm trying to think. There's two other big names that would go high in the first round. Nick Chubb was one, yes. And
Aaron Jones?
It was not Aaron Jones. It had the reasoning was based off of either injury or competition in the backfield. And he just says Eckler sucks.
So if they had him at 4, he was probably behind C-Mac, Kamara. And
No, Kamara was one that he was ahead of.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was based off of, he said that the 59-point game like skewed his statistics completely for the year. And that,
Which it probably did.
And not having Drew Brees is going to be a big hit to him.
I think it will too. But if you got to remember when Taysom Hill played last year, Kamara still had fantasy relevance.
Absolutely.
Taysom Hill takes those goal lines, though.
That's true, but Kamara still gets enough between the 20s.
Is Taysom Hill the New Orleans Saints starting quarterback?
No one knows.
Nobody knows. I really
It's
truly
gonna be
think
a hodgepodge.
I think it'll be Jameis Winston until he loses the job. But Taysom Hill is going to have Taysom Hill will have snaps in every single game he's healthy in my opinion.
It was Eckler, Kamara, Cook, and Chubb.
Now, is this talking about like standard leagues or a PPR league?
I assume PPR.
I would assume
Because he talks
standard
about
if he's
PPR.
going to take out the, Eckler, I think is a stud, man.
He hates Eckler, this particular person.
He really does.
Yeah,
He's the one that's not afraid to tag a player when he's bashing them to try and bring them into the conversation.
And for the listeners, what's his name again?
The fantasy football counselor.
This is
Fantasy
not
football
advertisement.
counselor.
No,
Sounds like an
but
idiot.
We just want them to be able to go and check it out.
it's kind of a funny follow, though, because he does call out players all the time. He only cares about fantasy football, and he doesn't care about what you do in your free time. If a player goes out of bounds to better the team's chances of winning, he'll freak out on you because you're a bad fantasy football player for it.
What an idiot, dude.
Sounds like Gage's Rage, honestly.
No, I would
Fantasy-
never say that.
Fantasy football is almost as important as regular football.
I mean, it's a close second.
Value-wise, it might even be
In Gage's
bigger
Rage's
industry.
words, what did you say? I'm going to quote it directly here because I remember perfectly. He said, if my team's not going to win, I want the dub in fantasy.
Yes, but I would also trade a fantasy loser season 0-16 for a Vikings Super Bowl win.
how
what if the
many
Vikings-
fantasy seasons would you trade?
All of them.
All of them?
I'd lose everyone for the rest of my life.
Would
Would
you
you-
go
would
handle
Would you rather
that?
just quit
For
playing?
sure. Yeah, I would just quit at some point.
But you have to keep playing. And actually, not
I'd
only
still
do you
play.
have to keep playing, but you have to enter at least 5 leagues.
Easy.
At $100 pop.
Okay.
And be active.
Yeah, you can't just not play, and you're going to get the worst luck in the world.
But like subconsciously, you don't know that you're going to lose every single time.
So you feel like you're going to win, but after 10 years of 0-16,
You've then started to realize I'm not going to
See,
win.
now we're getting into some like psycho stuff.
Wizard
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
It's too much to think
Like
about.
you will
I
have
can't.
no idea of how much bad luck you will have in fantasy for the rest of your life, but your team will get a Super Bowl win.
I think it's worth it. Totally
you always
worth it.
have hope of winning.
Does the butthole owe Devin $20 for something?
Sure.
Great
I would,
Brandino?
I would
All right,
assume
hold
it
on.
would be
Brandino?
Gage.
No. We'll pull that up. But Devin, listen, brew reviews, they're for your own good. Now, what I can't control is you going to the liquor store and buying Lift Bridge red, white, and blue instead of Smirnoff red, white, and berry. That's not on the butthole.
That is not on the butthole.
We put it in fine lettering.
You can see the can, no problem.
We should do Lift Bridge red, white, and blue.
According to Devin, it's not worth our money.
Well, why doesn't he just give us the rest of them? Give us 4 Lift Bridges, Devin, and we'll review Lift Bridge red, white, and blue for you.
I know he only drank 2 of the 6, so we'll be good to go next week.
No, $20 for a 6-pack.
And knowing him, he was probably fucking wasted after
Jiminy
that.
Crickets.
It was probably like $8 for 12, and he just wants interest.
Oh shit! Superfan
Typical-
Alex has got some breaking news for us.
Here comes Alex to the rescue. Is this Superfan soon to be producer, Alex?
You got it. You're producer.
Yeah, one day. Yeah, until Alex is here. Rookie defensive tackle Jalen Twyman.
Yep.
Was shot 4 times while visiting an aunt in Washington D.C.
What?
Really?
He was like a
It's like 6th-round pick,
yeah.
but I liked him. I picked him
Yeah.
as my person who might have the best career.
Yeah, you did.
Is he okay?
Looks like he was in the car. That's all
look it up.
Alex has now. I haven't heard about this at all.
Jeepers.
Is this like legit? Because I haven't seen anything about this at all. I might call bullshit on this.
Ooh,
I wouldn't do that live.
you want
yeah,
you want a
don't-
butthole beef with Alex again? He kind of roasted you last week on the cast, Scott.
Well, when you have guests on, you don't want to embarrass them before they stick their foot in their mouth.
Soon to be not just a guest, maybe interim
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah, here we go. Adam Schefter. Per Adam Schefter, Vikings rookie defensive tackle Jalen Twyman was shot 4 times while visiting an aunt in Washington, D.C. Wrong place, wrong time, said Drew Rosenhaus. And talking to him today, he's going to be okay. That's all that matters. We're
That's good
thankful he's
news.
okay. He's going to make a full recovery.
Man, that's awful.
Alex says it was a through and through.
Well, that's good because when they get lodged in you, that's when you're really in trouble.
Yeah, internal damage, lots of bad stuff. Hopefully, he's all right
Right.
for the season start. We know the Plaxico Burris situation.
Hopefully, he's just all right.
Yeah. Hopefully you can walk again and people stop shooting people.
That would
That'd be
be
pretty great.
that would be
We choose
that'd
that
be
first.
ideal. Yeah,
That's
let's,
some breaking news right there, though. That's a good little bit. That's why he's going to be our producer at some point. And he'll have camera time. He'll have
He's ready
mic
to rip.
time.
He's always ready to rip.
rip Scott.
Speaking of, the Vikings wrapped up their minicamp last week.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter came out to practice.
He made a post on Instagram today for the first time in forever.
Did he put all of the Viking stuff that he wiped off Instagram back
Yes.
on there
A
yet?
picture of him in a Vikings jersey, and he said, "Let's go, season 7."
Good. I honestly, I don't think it was ever as bad as it was made out to sound by was it Rappaport who tweeted something during the season that sounded really horrible?
During last season.
Yeah.
It could have been. I'm
about
not sure.
how it's going to be basically a reckoning off season for the purple regarding Daniil Hunter because he's really unhappy. And then of course, Doomsday Florio on PFT took and ran with it. And he's been posting updates on the status like every fucking week.
Well, it's a good way for Danilo to get his upper hand, you know?
He's
for
got
him,
his
though,
bag,
if you
man.
look
he
at-
made his money this year.
It's really not, though, the upper hand because now the purple have an out. Like, he must know that his neck is fine. That's the bottom line. Because if that neck's not fine, he's
You're
got a
not
lot of money.
risking 18 million.
Yeah. So I guess in retrospect for fans like us, that's good news.
Mhm.
You hope his neck is okay.
And then we
Ready
can
to roll.
restructure him.
Yeah, or just straight up give him a new contract.
So the Vikings have, I think, roughly $15 million right now in cap space.
Larry Fitz.
Do you think it fits? I heard rumors of trading for Stephon Gilmore.
I would love it.
Oh, Gilmore would be awesome.
Really?
I would love
Just
it.
a brand new cornerback group.
I would.
Why not?
I would-
Stephon Gilmore,
Dantzler, and
Patrick
then everyone
Peterson.
else is new from last year.
I would absolutely adore
That'd be
Stephon Gilmore. What would, you,
Imagine that.
what would you give up for him? Would you give a first?
He's
He's
29, 30.
and it's a borrowed time. We're not re-signing him
You don't know that. You would assume that, though.
with the money that you're paying a guy that age. I wouldn't think so.
He's
But
30, turns 31.
he's the same draft as Xavier Rhodes,
Would you give up 2/3 for him?
just for 1 year. That is all in. That's us pushing our chips in if we make a trade like that.
Is his contract info there?
I can look it up.
Yeah, what's his cap hit? And how many years?
Let's
does he
remember
have
this
left?
though. If the Vikings,
This is his last year.
Alex, we need you.
if the Vikings season goes as we all hope it goes, and especially the Vikings front office hopes it goes, Kirk Cousins will be the starter this year, and he will be gone in the offseason. and Kellen Mond will be stepping in as the starter. So you're going to have a quarterback on a rookie contract. So you could afford Stephon Gilmore.
Right now, last year, the deal, 2021, cap hit is going to be 16.265.
And can you honestly tell me if this season ends up the way we want it to and we win a Super Bowl that they're just going to let Kirk go? When's the last time a Super Bowl winning quarterback went to a new team the next year?
Big Dick Nick.
That wasn't the next year.
It was the
though?
year.
No, because he played again and he brought them back to the playoffs
Yeah.
and won a playoff game.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He won in the double doink in Chicago.
Yeah. It was a
So
ugly
was that-
playoff game.
2019? No, Double Doink was the year they won, wasn't it?
No, double doink was the year after.
Double doink was the year
It was
after.
the year that the Vikings missed making the playoffs
Mr.
to
Cody
the
Parker.
Bears.
Yep.
Week 17.
Yep.
So I was at that game.
And they were
And I
playing
was
their
sad
backups.
and drunk.
I suppose technically,
Yeah.
yeah. So the year the Vikings or the Eagles won the Super Bowl was technically 17, right?
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
were in that playoffs.
Yep.
In the double dunk year, we didn't make the playoffs because the Bears made the playoffs.
But that was 18?
I think in
18, the Eagles.
in
He
Rick
started
Spielman's mind and
5
Rob
games.
Brzezinski's mind, Kellen Mond will be the starter for the 2022-23 season.
Regardless of how this year ends up.
That's the plan on paper, in my opinion. Now, of course, it's the NFL. Things change week to week. But that's got to be the plan on paper because that's your most clear-cut path to keeping the guys that you want to be able to keep. If you have to pay Kirk 40+ million, it gets very difficult.
He's not getting paid 40 plus million.
Well, then you
You'd have
extend
to
him.
restructure them.
Do you want to extend him another year or two then and have him going into
He
the
said
end of
he-
Kellen Mond's rookie year or rookie contract?
Won't take an extension. He said he wants to play this out and then go from there.
I just think he's the guy that, like, okay, Kirk Cousins is very good at playing the contract game, obviously. He made it through 2 franchise tags, got a big money bag from the purple. But, like, at some point as the purple, you got to say, okay, fine, you can go be somebody else's issue.
Yeah.
And that's what they drafted Kellen Mond for, is hopefully he can develop into the starter. You'll have now a starter on a rookie contract. You can just bulk up the pieces around him.
Best
go.
case scenario is Mond taking over this year then and us winning the Super Bowl because we're all in.
That is a
bringing
fair
in
point.
these things because if we win the Super Bowl, they're going to pay him the $40 billion. They're
But
not.
I also think if they go anywhere but win the Super Bowl, I think the chance of Mond being the starter next year is very good.
Yeah.
So we eat 40 mil.
No, they have a potential out before the new league year starts for 2022. The Purple have an out on Kirk's contract where they would have dead cap of like $12 million. Well,
Is this Kellen Mond that good?
No one knows.
nobody knows if he's that
He's
good.
got a big
but-
arm.
He's
And
a
he's
he's a
mobile.
project.
I mean, Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. He ended up being really good.
Yeah,
You can
that's
get a
fair.
good player in the 3rd.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I just think that in the Vikings world, not Zimmer, because Zimmer's job is to win right now. Zimmer wants to win right now. But if you're Rick Spielman and you're Rob Brzezinski, you got to be looking at this long play. You can't afford to keep paying Kirk Cousins $35 to $40 million a year, and it's only going to go up when the salary cap goes up. That's why Kirk doesn't want to do a new deal right now. It's because the salary cap's going to go up big time after this season with the new TV money, and then it's going to jump again after the next season. You're looking at a salary cap probably raising 30 to 40 million
So went down this
in
year.
the next 2 years. Yeah.
It does say 2022 salary fully guaranteed on 3/19/2021,
Yeah.
which means next year's is guaranteed.
No, it's not.
Fully
There's an out.
guaranteed.
I was listening to a podcast, a Vikings podcast, and they do have an out on Kirk's contract. They do. But I don't remember the exact date.
So that'd be before 3/19/2021?
Well, no,
we're
that already-
past
we're
3/19,
past that.
2021.
March 19th to 21, which would have already passed. But they do have an out on his contract where they would have to eat 12 million in dead space. But if you're eating 12 million and only $500,000 or whatever the number is, or $1.5 million, you're still only paying your quarterback 13 million for 1 year. That's a cheap contract.
That's a steal.
So we'll
Gives
see.
Flexibility on Daniil Hunter.
Well, then back to the original point of Stephon Gilmore. If you were to go get him and he had a good year for you, you're realistically at that point you could re-sign him if Kirk's gone. But if
I
Kirk's
mean-
being paid 40+ million, you're probably not re-signing him.
Gilmore's wheels haven't fallen off yet. He's been very good for like the last 6 years, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to be 31, like week 3 of the NFL this year. Do you really
And-
want to give him a big contract to keep him here?
And look at the Patriots too. The Patriots know when to get rid of guys.
Yeah. So if they're looking to deal him, it's not because he's in his prime and they have a really good chance of winning the Super Bowl. It's because they're trying to move on from a player that's going to spend a lot of money that probably won't bring that value,
I'd rather trade a second for Yannick Ngakoue.
and then flip it for a third.
Yeah,
Dirty dog.
get some pass rush going.
We know how to wheel and deal around here. Okay.
And also being a new Raider super fan, I got a Yannick Ngakoue jersey on the way too.
Nice.
So I'll be rocking that at some point.
I mean, there is some
Under
players
my Carl Nassib jersey, of
that
course.
have played well into their 30s. It's not unreasonable to think. Gilmore's got a
Cornerbacks?
We
few
just
more
paid
years.
Patrick Peterson a bunch of money, and that dude's like 32.
He got like $7 million.
For 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, but that would be Stephon Gilmore.
10 mil.
I know you're talking about would you want to extend him, which Gilmore I wouldn't give more than like a 2 or 3 year extension to. And
How much would you give
realistically,
him?
And
it'd
you
probably-
got to also consider whether he wants to. You're borrowing him when you trade for him. He might say, I don't want to end my career in Minnesota.
you might
I'm
want to
going
go
back
ring
to
chasing.
Buffalo. Like they're a better team right now or something. So you have no idea. When you trade and you give up for him, is the same thing with Yannick Ngakoue, and that's why I brought it up. He didn't
Let's-
want to go re-sign here, so we got stuff back. Well, we could.
Let's work under the pretense of you're renting Gilmore for 1 year. What are you giving up?
I would give up a 3.
A single third, a 2022 third.
Yeah.
I would.
I'd
too.
pay more. I'd give a second.
Would you
Mm-hmm.
for a 1 year rental?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think we should bite teams, and we're already decent in that position. I feel like there's other players that I'd rather rent than a cornerback when we do have Patrick Peterson and Dancer and
Breland,
and
Alexander.
Matt.
I am genuinely curious though what their plan is with this 15 million, because
They're going to do something with it.
they
Have
ended
to.
up, the numbers came out on Sheldon Richardson's contract, who we offered less money to him than Cleveland, by the way. That came out today. Cleveland offered him more, but he came back to us because he likes Zimmer. But when they
Cleveland also
restructured,
just cut him, so it might be a little bitter.
well, there's part of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Players don't get bitter.
Danielle Hunter's contract, when we restructured his, we opened up $4.5 million on this year's cap, and that's exactly what we paid Richardson. So we still kept that 15-ish million available with bringing Richardson in. I'm just curious what their plan is, because 15 million to have is
D.D.
like,
Westbrook.
that's a decent amount of change.
And we could get him for
Seriously. And not
3.5.
15 mil. I'm just
Didi-
saying
no,
in general.
Didi's been talked about. Geno Atkins was talked about too before they brought in Richardson. I
Do you
think
think you could take this 15 mil and restructure contracts to pay Kirk more money this year to drop the cap next year?
honestly, if I'm the purple, this is what I'm doing. I'm taking the 15 and I'm pocketing it. You know, there's going to be a good older pass rusher that's going to get cut off in the preseason. I would sign them to go opposite to Neil Hunter.
Get a D end.
Get a D end. So you're not putting as much pressure on your Wanhams and your Weatherlys. Because think about this: if you have
Melvin Ingram's still out there right now too.
yeah, he had been floated around for the purple, but not by anybody that was reputable. It was just an idea kind of thing.
What does Larry Fitz do for you?
A lot. I would love Fitz.
As a fan, I like it. As far as what I think he can do on the field, I don't know.
You don't
how
think
much
he
he'd
could be
help.
a fourth or fifth producing offensive player on
I
the
think
field?
he could, but I think I'd be more excited just to have him on the team than what he would do. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think we could bring in Data Westbrook and he would
Just be the same
be
amount
the
of
same
production.
but I just wouldn't be as excited about it. Or Jerry's right, even bring him back.
Oh, J Wright would be awesome.
I think he wants to come
I was
back.
kind of hoping.
Justin Houston's available.
Yeah, he's been talked about too. As
These
a
guys,
rumor.
I'm sure you could, if they wanted to still play, I don't think they'd cost all that much.
$7 million.
I feel like I think I'd
Maybe
rather have
if
Melvin
that.
Ingram than Houston though.
I think so too. I mean, imagine that front with Daniil Hunter, Ingram, Tomlinson, Sheldon Richardson,
Pierce.
and Michael Pierce.
Is there any guards, offensive linemen we might have our eyes on?
I just don't think at this stage of the game there's anybody worth throwing money at. Unless
That's
we're
another
trading.
thing though. Somebody could get cut or somebody could become available via trade because a rookie looks really good in the preseason.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. 15 mil is a lot to play with at this time of the year.
Yeah. And I'm sure they also have some money reserved in case this kicker situation goes pear-shaped.
Who's their kicker right now?
Corey Joseph, I think his name is, or something like that.
What a guy.
He hasn't kicked meaningful kicks for I think 2 years.
Well, I'm excited nonetheless.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
season's going to be fun.
I just thought of an interesting perspective that I don't know why I thought about when we were talking about Daniil Hunter and you guys were talking about people were saying it was bad and all this stuff. Do you think professional athletes should be forced to be like the celebrity status that they are?
As
Or
far
makes any
as-
sense?
forced
like,
is in
like
what?
if you're an actor or a musician or anything, that your job is to entertain people, right? Where this sport, people growing up, their whole thing isn't like, oh, I'm going to go put on a performance. They just want to play the sport, and then you reach the professional level, and your job is now to entertain these people, not just this. So you do have to have like the fan interactions. You do have to have this, and if you don't like your job and you want to work somewhere else, you piss off everyone that's a fan of that team. And it's like, it almost seems unfair because they're like, I just wanted to play football and I don't like where I'm at, but now I have a million people saying I'm a piece of shit because I don't want to play for this team anymore. And
I also think fundamental football can be boring. Like watching Patrick Mahomes is a lot more fun to watch than somebody who's far more systematic.
like Peyton Manning, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, just their play style. Peyton Manning is a little bit different. He's HOF, but like Kirk Cousins is
Well, Patrick Mahomes is HOF too.
not yet.
according to Madden 22,
If Patrick Mahomes retired today, he'd be a borderline Hall of Famer.
no,
It's
it wouldn't.
it's
I
way
disagree.
too soon.
All right,
Yeah,
we won't
it's
go down
way
that
too
road
soon.
yet. We'll wait
I'm just
another
saying
year.
there's plenty of players that are more systematic. They're good at their position, but they're not flashy as far as namesake. Where the flashy players are where you're getting a lot of your, like Josh Allen, is he the most fundamental football player?
No,
Definitely not.
Is Patrick Mahomes? Lamar Jackson?
No.
No, but they're flashy. They're the next guy stepping up in the league. They're fun to watch. Now, you're going to get some guys like, and Aaron Rodgers is a little bit different because he's kind of flashy too, but there's different positions are a little bit easier to say it. Maybe like running backs and stuff. There's guys who can run between the tackles, do their job, get 4 or 5 yards. That might not bust you the 75-yard touchdown, but that 75-yard touchdown by Cook is going to be a hell of a lot more fun than watching 16 rushes for 5 yards. You know what I mean? Getting your first downs.
Well, okay, that's why
Going down and
there's
scoring.
that's why there's an argument generally by Vikings fans for best receiver of all time. A lot of people will say Moss over Rice because Moss was super freak. Rice by every single thing that makes any sense
true.
at all. It should be the best receiver of all time. Some people say Moss because he was more fun to watch.
Lamar Jackson is one of the most fundamental quarterbacks at running back, though.
Who said that?
Devin.
This guy gets
I was
it.
gonna say though, like
Gets it.
like to piggyback off of Star to take it a step farther, professional sports, specifically we'll talk NFL, is the only thing in the world where if you're the best at your relative position in college, you have a higher chance of going to one of the worst organizations in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which is about the only profession in the entire world that's the case in, is professional sports. And even
don't get
moreover,
to
you don't get to pick. You just get to go to this. Trevor Lawrence, you're going to Jacksonville. Shithole Jacksonville. Good luck.
And you might be stuck there for 4 or 5 years if you're one of the top picks.
Yeah.
and then you
And-
get franchise tags.
And then
Yep.
you get shit on by fans who say that you've never won anything, when in reality, you went to a really shitty situation. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence isn't going to win anything in Jacksonville, but it's happened in the past where good players have gone to bad situations and not won.
And that you have a shitty job. Not you have a shitty job.
Yeah.
If you have a shitty job, you can leave. You might piss your boss off, but you're not pissing off all of these people who you didn't even choose to be like, love me, love me. You're not one of these showboating people. You just happen to be really good at football and you're there and you just don't like your situation, but it's immediately looked at negative as far as social medias and Instagram and everything when a player has any disgruntledness with their team. When in reality, they could just be like I didn't sign up for this. Like, I'm good at this sport. I deserve to make more money. And now I'm being called selfish because I do deserve to make money. Xavier Howard on Miami Dolphins has been sitting out because they are paying the guy they signed last year,
Byron Jones,
more money. Xavier Howard outplayed him in every aspect of the game last year, 10 times the player as him. But everyone's like, you signed the contract. It's like, well, yeah, but now he deserves more money.
Yeah, well, especially in that situation, you're paying a cornerback more because he was a free agent and I wasn't, and that's
Yeah.
what you had to pay to get him when I'm really the better player than him. I'd be sitting out too. It's like Aaron Rodgers. He wants out of Green Bay because he wants to go win a Super Bowl, and he doesn't believe Green Bay wants to do that.
Yeah. I don't know, just I'm like starting to switch onto more the player side than the team side when
I
all
am
these
too.
contract disputes are coming up.
The thing is, though, there are situations where it doesn't. Some situations it's easier to pick the player side than others, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah.
Like when Brady wanted out of New England at that time, it kind of made sense. They had their run. The Patriots roster was really bad. Tom Brady's contract was coming up. It's a little different because he didn't have to force his way out. He just played out his contract, went somewhere else. But certain players to get disgruntled at a franchise, because like Deshaun Watson, for instance, I'm not surprised that Deshaun Watson demanded a trade. It's a shitty organization, and they traded away all of his teammates that he liked for nothing.
And now he sits around in his prime to maybe break even, not really have a chance at a Super Bowl, and
or to have a successful season, which would be to make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
Things change as the years goes on. I mean, the contract for Daniil Hunter, when he signed it for him, I mean, sometimes you look at it like maybe you should have signed a 1 or 2 year deal, and then in a couple of years you could have made more money. And sometimes it's like, well, I mean, he is outplaying his contract, or he was when he was healthy. Does he deserve more money? Is he one of the top 7 DNs in the league? I'd say so. But he's not getting paid that way.
Yeah. But he was also getting paid like a top 7 defensive end when he was a top 30 defensive end. So for him, it's like, but then for instance, Kirk too, fans get mad at Kirk Cousins because he got a big contract from us. Well, he risked getting a good contract for 2 years playing on a franchise tag, and it worked out for him. He could have easily gotten injured and been paid about probably 14 or 15 million a year.
He didn't risk that.
Yeah, the Redskins risked that.
Yeah.
Well, he had to sign the contract.
It was that or not play.
Yeah.
Those are his options.
Yeah, but he
wasn't
wasn't
a lot of risk on Kirk Cousins' part.
Well, it was $19 million risk if he didn't play. And then
I mean, getting injured was the only risk.
He got paid way more than 19 mil on the tag, right?
No, but Brandon's saying that if he would have got her, it was a $19 million difference.
35 mil.
It was about a $19 million difference, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
16 to 35, that's 19 mil.
You're saying he played on the tag for 16 mil?
No. All I'm saying is Brandon said 19, but I thought he was saying that he could play for 35, get hurt, and now he's getting paid 16. But I don't.
Exactly.
I think I'm bailing Brandon out here.
I think his first tag was relatively in like the 19-20 range. The second tag was upwards of 30, but he didn't really have a choice because it's a difference of making 20 million or sitting out and then signing a team. But sitting out is a bad look for other teams.
Yeah,
because they're going, well, do we want him? He's sitting out on his team. I think the franchise tag rule is stupid. If you play out your contract, you should be able to leave. When like they shouldn't be able to like, nope, we're saving you.
First year was 22.5. Second year was 27.5.
Okay.
But get this though, for a kicker, the fact that he's now been franchise tagged twice in his career follows him wherever he goes. So
no, Kirk Cousins is a quarterback.
So if he were So if he were now to get franchised by the Vikings after we pay him 40, his number would be like $60 million on a franchise tag, because it goes up like 150% rather
Of
than
the contract
100
value?
Yeah,
Of the top 5.
yeah.
It's like
But does it?
It's an
transfer with
escalator
teams?
too, though. It transfers with teams.
It does.
Yes.
So he will never be franchise tagged again.
Definitely
There's not a chance.
Right.
That's insane.
But that's honestly, that's about the difference between the NFL and the NBA, to be honest with you, is the franchise tag. Because there's a lot of players in the NFL that have
a lot of difference. One is you shoot a ball into a hoop. The other one you're trying to run it. Yeah.
But player mobility wise, it's
floor
the same
versus
thing.
a grass.
Player mobility wise, and you
AstroTurf.
can pay more to
Amount of
players that
players
were
on a team.
on your team and drafted by your team than you can for players
A
that are free
salary cap, a
agents.
You
hard
can
salary
score
cap.
6 points in one play.
You can buy out contracts. You can trade for cash.
You can trade for cash.
There's a lot different
Can you?
between basketball and football, actually.
I feel like there's way more
ball is circular
multi-team trades in the NBA
versus
because all the
elongated.
cash has to work out.
The NBA,
Irregular?
the big difference between the NBA and the NFL is in the NBA, you can go over the salary cap to retain your players, but they don't have to sign that contract. You're just the only team that can offer that contract.
The super maxes.
And then in the NFL, you can, against their own free will, slap a franchise tag on them and make them stay with you. That's the biggest difference.
They also only have 30 teams.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference is
Ball shape.
effort on defense.
There is that for most teams.
Gage, honest question. When was the last time you watched an NBA game?
Can you tell us? Can you tell us the 4 teams remaining in the playoffs right now?
There's playoffs still.
Can you tell us one
Playoffs?
of
We're talking
of
about
the
the
4
playoffs?
teams remaining in the playoffs?
Yes, tell
right
us
now?
one of the 4 remaining NBA
I
teams.
think I
the
can give you
Lakers
one.
are out, right?
They're
Yeah.
out. Yep.
That's fair.
Who's
We'll help you.
Durantula play for?
The
The
Brooklyn Nets.
Nets are in.
They're
No.
out.
What?
They just
Because
lost.
Durant
Son of a.
had his toe on the line
Yep.
Wait, he like a 3 that counted for 2, and he.
to put it in overtime instead of game winner. It was literally like I had to zoom
Holy
in to
shit.
see if it was actually on there.
That's the
That's
biggest
wicked.
difference.
And then they lost in overtime in game 7.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I have Clippers.
Clippers are in it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got it, dude.
bud.
Nice.
For the first time in over 50 years, they made it to the conference championship.
Damn.
Now let's think southern states. Let's think warm weather.
Spurs.
Nope. Let's think farther.
They had a
west.
fan that beat the shit out of a fan from another team and got rewarded with tickets to this series.
Oh, Suns.
Suns in 4.
Suns in 4, baby.
Of course, you bring up the fight, and Gage knows all about it.
Is the
I think that's
Wisconsin team still in?
hilarious.
That was epic.
I just think it's hilarious that he's being rewarded. Like Devin Booker's like, I need this guy's info, and like got him tickets to the game. And there's, did you see the videos of him at the game?
Yeah.
It's like a celebrity. Everyone's cheering for him. He's shaking hands. He's fucking president in Phoenix right
Dude,
now.
That guy was totally in the right. The other fan was trying to fuck with him. Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally epic.
By the way, shout out to Devin Booker. The dude is fucking balling.
Yeah, without CP3 right now,
Yeah.
but the Clips are also without Kawhi. So I know I'm speaking Spanish, Gage.
Yeah,
Speaking
but
of-
Devin Booker, Paul George.
Speaking of Devin,
And Paul George has been playing
Paul George
good.
is going Indiana on him right now.
That's true. He is.
we do have a totally unrelated question.
yeah,
Why
okay.
does Scott wear sunglasses inside?
Because his future's so bright.
That's true.
Block out the haters.
Duh, Devin.
So this over the weekend, the Dynasty League, I did the draft with you guys last year. We had a rookie draft this year.
Oh yeah.
They voted to move it up 4 weeks from middle of July to this weekend, and they voted on it on Friday,
Wait, this upcoming weekend?
the weekend before we just had.
What
So
day?
last week they had the vote. It started on Saturday at noon.
Well, that's why you wanted to get out of there.
Well, I totally dropped the fucking ball. I didn't check it all. They cut the sleep timer from a normal 6-hour window, midnight to 6 a.m., from 2 to 5 a.m. Your boy got auto picked on first round.
Who'd you get?
Who do you think I fucking got?
Rashad Bateman,
No.
Worst.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, super flex. He was picked 1.
Okay, it's a super flex.
Uh,
Terrace Marshall,
Worse.
What pick?
worse?
111.
Kenneth
111?
Gainwell.
Tight end.
The guy
You
Framuth.
got Freemuth?
Freiermuth.
What?
And I was pissed. I'm like, how the fuck do I end up with this tight
You got Pat
this guy
Freiermuth?
at 111? And the next, dude, Carter was still there. Were still some good ass players, and I was livid.
Why did
And-
they not give you the heads up on any of this?
They sent me an email.
Oh yeah, because that gets checked regularly.
Do they not have your number?
No number on my account. I know a few people in the league, but
And nobody wanted to text you?
dude,
How pissed are you right now?
I'm pissed. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roster a few kickers throughout the season. I lost by 1 passing yard, so it's just really sour for me right now.
Who'd you get
I
in second
bet.
round?
Dude, sell your team.
I took Kellen Mond actually.
Mm.
'Cause
Sell
my
your team,
QBs
dude.
are pretty rough. Yeah, I won't be in this thing next year. Fucking stupid. I was so pissed. I
Sell
was
your
like,
team.
there are still better tight ends available too. Like, how is Pat Freiermuth my fucking pick in the
Is
first
Brevin
round?
Jordan available?
Where'd Kyle Pitts go?
Yeah,
He would have been a good grab.
Pitts went at like 7,
Oh,
so it was close.
if it auto drafted Pitts, you wouldn't be upset though.
It was Waddle.
Yeah, who went after you?
Let me take a peek.
I just want to know, like, Pat Freiermuth in almost no scenario makes sense at
He's a
111.
third rounder, like at best.
That's
Do you have a tight end? Does it weigh into that at all?
Well, I had Austin Hooper and Dan Arnold.
So
I
it's
think.
Yeah, so
still
you
in
need
the
a tight
roster
end.
spot or something?
Pat Freiermuth might be your starter week 1.
watch him win him a championship too.
That's what everyone's saying. Maybe he's a top
Everyone
6
thought
tight
Najee
end.
Harris was rookie of the year. Nope, they're tight end.
Jalen Waddle, Trey Sermon, Mac Jones,
All
go
available?
next. They're in the next 3 picks. And my tight end or my QB is Tom Brady in a super flex. Tom Brady and Taysom Hill. Like
I just can't believe
fucking Mac Jones
Waddle
would
was
for
on
sure
the
be
board
next
and
one.
they
Yeah, Bateman, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, Michael Carter.
Who would you have taken over Fairmouth? Anybody?
Michael Carter probably,
Over Trey
or
Sermon.
Mac Jones.
Trey Sermon.
I think Carter's gonna start this year,
Carter will.
and he's a hard runner too.
I like Michael Carter. I like him.
Yeah,
They have a beefed
Sermon's
up
just got
O-line,
so
rookie
much
QB.
competition.
And Sermon's also in a backfield in San Francisco that always has a rotating group.
Yeah.
So then I post in like just the league chat, like how the fuck does this happen? We cut the timer. Vote
So
gets pushed through
They
on
voted
Friday.
to start drafting the next day.
It was like a week long vote. It ended Friday. The draft started the next day.
I
I was so livid.
would be.
And they're like, oh, and then I posted in like just the league chat on MFL, and then someone like
Replied
wrote
to it.
directly to me though, not in just the whole league. Like he was trying to talk to someone else. He's like, yeah, it's not really hard to add a few pre-draft picks. And then he's like, oh shoot, that was not meant for you. I'd be pretty frustrated if I was in that situation.
Oh my god!
too.
Are you
Like,
serious?
fuck you,
dude?
Skeletor. You're a piece of shit.
And his name is fucking Skeletor.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the commish. I think.
Is he really?
Yeah,
So he was bashing.
Gage doesn't
you.
even know the commish.
it's yeah.
How many
I wanna
people do you
say
know in
some
this
bad
league?
words. 2 people.
Okay.
Done with online bullshit leagues.
Speaking of leagues, now we are going to do a butthole guillotine league. At least one.
We're
Maybe
gonna
two.
get a couple going. I think
A
we're gonna have.
couple?
I think
You're
we'll
in.
have 2 or 3.
Fuck.
maybe.
No, you're in.
Star,
You're
come on.
absolutely
You're in.
in.
There's not. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, no choice.
Okay.
I think this
Yeah.
year.
There we go. That was tough. That was
Because
tough.
if you think about last year, we had enough interest to where we could have at least gotten a half of another one without even trying. So I think
Yeah.
we'll do 2 this year.
Cool.
Guillotine Leagues is doing something really cool. They have 12 leagues with 12 teams playing up to week 12.
We
So-
can't fill it. That's super league.
No,
like
no,
that.
hold on. It wouldn't be something we'd fill. I think they're just doing one of them in total. So 144 contestants get in there, play. The winners of each of those 12 leagues then go in and play against each other for the next handful of weeks.
They're doing multiple of those. You can set your own up.
They're doing multiple of those?
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you could set your own up.
yeah. That's just for like
So-
the Scott Fishbowl type of people where they get like 150 people in one league.
Yep.
Gotcha.
You could do a guillotine league where you're all in a separate league, then the champions play each other.
Yep.
So Guillotine League is doing this really cool thing where they have multiple leagues you can set up. Kind of
Yep.
like a super league.
Yep. You're
Where
dead
you can
on.
have 144 people, 12 leagues, 12 teams.
Kind of like
really
the
cool.
Scott Fish Bowl.
Kind of like Scott Fishbowl. Anybody can do it.
Yep.
Pretty
Sounds,
sweet.
This would be the Butthole
crazy.
Bowl.
We probably won't get 144 people, so we'll probably just do like maybe 2 leagues.
Yeah, we can do a couple.
If there's
separate.
enough interest, we'll do 3.
Yeah, but the fucking Guillotine League is as a side kicker to your normal fantasy.
So fun.
It's the shit.
electric.
It's
Yeah.
a whole different ball game.
Did you have some FOMO last year, Star?
I don't know. It's just interesting to listen to you guys talk about it.
You hear some
But-
of those players available on the waiver wire?
Yeah. And then when you guys were drafting, though, I didn't like the whole 4 hours a pick. And
And you can adjust that. You can change that. So you could set it up for a Saturday and
Yeah.
have to draft all Saturday. But with the amount of people we had and how late we were getting to the season, we had to do something that was going to work.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get out ahead of it this year, though, and we're gonna start filling out rosters probably in July, and we'll have a draft. We'll have both drafts done.
Mid-August, late August.
No, they'll be like normal
September
drafts, late
1st.
August. Yep. But they're gonna be on a set day where you gotta have like that night locked down.
If you have 12 people sitting down for 2 hours, you can knock out. So ideally you'd want 16, 17 even. 17 teams.
Yeah, it
You're
has to be
sounding a lot
17.
like Skeletor, Star.
I do like the idea that when you lose, you just don't have to care anymore. And you're just out.
Yeah, if it's week 3 or
It's
week
not like,
13.
all right, how am I going to fix this? It's like, no, I suck. I don't have to pay attention to this anymore.
The awesome part, you don't even have to be first. Just don't be last.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The elimination though is such a fucking gut punch.
It is. I got down to like the final 4 teams, 3-4 teams, and that was brutal.
You lasted the longest out of us.
Yep.
Not last.
Yeah,
Oh, that was you, Scott.
Oh,
Weird.
that's funny how that works. It was a lot of fun though. So
yeah,
we're
but we
probably
all
do a couple.
made it. We all made it pretty far.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, at least past halfway, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I don't remember. Scott went out way early before me, so I got lost track.
No, I got eliminated. I think week 8 or 9.
Okay, so almost halfway.
You guys are fucks. both of
It
you.
was good stuff. I'm
I'm excited for fantasy
Let's score
football.
this
fantasy
hockey
football's
game.
right around the corner. We have
Better yet,
a
what's
new
the
Christian McCaffrey
Oh,
super fan.
boys? We got some grease on this Houston Texans game tonight. What's the score? Or this Houston Astros game?
What do you mean?
We also got some grease on this Tampa Bay New York Islanders game. I got Tampa Bay on the money line.
Oh, I love gambling.
What's the series at?
It's tied 2-2, and Tampa's up 2-0 right now.
Oh, so we're in the money right now.
We're in the money.
What's the
Is there b-ball tonight?
what's the line on that?
No b-ball tonight.
No b-ball tonight.
No.
Tomorrow, Clips Suns game 2.
Yep. What'd you say?
What's the line? Like you bet
here's-
$5 to win.
It was
$6.50?
to win like 4 something. It wasn't even
Gotcha.
quite. If I would have bet the Islanders, it would have been bet 5 to win like 8.
Oh, I'd rather win 4.
I heard somebody say that if Tampa Bay and Vegas make it, that they're not watching hockey anymore.
Because
Why?
it's rigged.
Just because they're not hockey cities at all. Tampa Bay won it last year, and Vegas, and isn't it bullshit? Vegas is like a dominant team since they were in the league,
Yeah,
and
since
they
year 1.
do not get a player taken from them for the Kraken.
$5.
Just because they were too young.
Yeah, they have to be like at least 5 years in the league. So they're every team's going to get worse, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
So every team, do they get to pick which player?
Yeah, you get
You
like
get to
3.
protect players.
There's 3 no move players or something like that. Not no trade, but just they have no moves on them, and you can take like any player outside of those, but you have to still be within the cap. So
Now, I think the reason they're so freaking good is because they got Fleury. Like Fleury, the goalie for Las Vegas, is insane.
And
He's a Hall of Famer.
He was also old though when they got him, and the team that gave him up was thinking, I don't remember where he came from, but they were thinking, oh, he's an older
Penguins.
goaltender.
I think it was Boston.
Pangolins?
Boston.
Maybe it was.
I think the
Pittsburgh.
Pangolin sounds right.
Okay, they had a
had a
rookie
stud.
superstar. Yeah,
And their
And
goalie
he had
that
a
they
career-altering injury.
their goalie that they kept is still their goalie. So like the Penguins made out okay on it.
I think the goalie they kept got injured.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, like 6 months later, and
I think it might have
Career ending?
career-altering.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it was ending, but
So here's what we got for Greece. We got Tampa Bay for $10 to win 556.
it's a smooth 15 spot.
Yep.
Then we got the Houston Astros for $5 at -1.5, and we also got the Houston Astros for $5 at -2.5.
Why are you betting on those cheating fucks?
Because if
Just
they
they're
cheat
good.
and they're going to win, that's
Because
winning us
dude, just a
money.
bit outside told me to bet on him. Josh is the man.
He does. Yeah. Josh gives some pretty damn good advice.
what
Yeah.
are the odds on the Bucks Hawks series?
For who we want to win the series.
Yeah, if we just say Bucks.
By the way,
Or
if
do we
you're
have to pick on how
sitting
many
at home
games?
bored and thinking you want to throw some grease around, Bovada is a pretty good website. So you can throw some grease there.
Except for Gage can't go on it.
Tough out there.
Legally.
We
We can. I'd go on tonight.
to win the actual
Been a bit.
series.
If you're at a Houston Astros Minnesota Twins game, what are you chanting when?
Which one did you
Altuve
want?
Steps up to
Bucks.
the plate.
Bucks series.
Trash can,
No,
trash can.
probably Jada Pinkett Smith. Cheater.
Entanglement.
That's what I would do. Yeah, no, I wouldn't go
trash
to. I
can.
wouldn't go to a Twins game and cheer. It's just you can't. You can't go
You know,
there.
you remember when you used to go to the Metrodome and they'd be like, dun, dun, dun,
Charge!
and now at Target Field,
They don't do it.
They don't. It's insane. It's
I'm-
infuriating.
I'm going to a Twins game on Sunday.
Are you?
I don't see the.
Weird. Me too.
Sick. What are you doing Sunday?
Um,
If you
Going
start,
to a Twins game?
I don't know. What day is Sunday?
it's Sunday.
The 27th.
I don't know what I got. Probably playing video games, getting drunk in my basement.
You
But-
could.
Get drunk at the Twins.
I don't
game.
see the to win the series.
They might not have that.
Star will go.
I think Bucks are winning it all.
Paige will drive us.
Yeah.
You're in on the Bucks to win it all.
Yeah, with who's left?
I'm going in whoever comes out of the West, man.
Are you? Well,
going
I
with
don't
the
think the
Suns?
Clippers would. And unless Kawhi comes back, but
Kawhi will be back.
you think he'll be back?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Where are the Timberwolves? Are they still in it?
Yep.
It's fucking sick, bud.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I think Giannis got this one.
Not gonna lie, I don't know anything about basketball besides the most
Isn't it
general.
like a circle or something? I seen some videos of it, and they do something weird with their hands.
Maybe you're more hip than me now. Sir.
He is. He's been checking out.
So here we are. We're in
just
the
followed
top of
Jake
the
Paul.
third. Houston and Baltimore are tied 0-0. And Houston has 2 guys on with 0 outs. They have runners on first and second, no outs. So we need them to win by 3 runs, and we'll cash about $20. And then if Tampa Bay wins, we'll cash 25. Dude,
Let's
it
go.
makes a boring ass Monday night of sports a lot better when you got some grease on it.
Life is better with money on the line.
Without a doubt.
It says Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems.
That's true.
Yeah, he had a rough go with it.
Him with sports gambling was kind of Gage with blackjack.
Whatever.
Gage is still alive.
Yeah,
Bovada.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, I said
Exactly.
kind of. I said kind of.
Do you guys want to hear
Except
some?
like every way possible.
some
You're both
dicey-
extremely obsessive about what you're doing. And
You want to
that's okay.
hear some greasy shit? So I was thinking, the initials game. We all know it.
Yep.
K-Fan does it every Friday. And
Corey
I,
Cove sells
I've been
it.
thinking about calling in and giving my initials.
Yeah.
I was going to, and I was going to just say BH for the butthole. I was like, I'm just going to go on there and be like, why'd you choose that? Because I wanted to promote the podcast.
You want to
If I
spread
ever,
butthole?
if I ever got on local radio, I'd try and spread butthole
Yeah, because you're a true man of the
of the people.
people. Yeah.
Of the people.
That's
Giving them what they want.
was on
That's what it
Friday.
was on Friday. Would have
Literally.
won. For those of you that don't know the initials game, right now, every week, somebody can call in and guess. If they get it right, they'll win the jackpot. They get it wrong, it adds another $500 to the pot. It's at $28,000, or maybe 29 now.
What would you have done if you would have cashed out on $28,000?
Put it on black.
Yeah,
Woo!
turn that shit into 56, man. What do you think? What would you do?
You're buying a new car. Don't fuck with us.
I'd have to split it up and buy 3 cars just to be safe because I only have half a working one right now.
Well, part of the
Some of the
reason
two
that
blow
you're
up.
probably in this predicament is because you would split it up and buy 3 cars.
Yeah, that could be. My Jeep is only 3 years old, and that one's fucked.
Yeah, that's true. But that's a computer thing. Like,
It is a computer thing. Fuck it. Don't lease a car.
I've actually heard
unless
that
it's a Corolla.
Teslas have a lot of issues with, like, after they're bought, like in the first couple of years, they have a lot of issues, and the only people that work on them are certified Tesla dealerships.
So
which,
it's expensive as fuck
Yeah,
to get them fixed.
and it's hard to get them in.
Yeah.
So, just a little
My little Tesla.
heads
Don't
up
get
to
a
the
Tesla.
Tesla fans.
First off, a Tesla car. I
Life
don't know
ain't
what
what
the
you think it
models
ain't.
are or what they're called, but the car,
Model S.
sure, can get up and fucking go.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, not the most basic one. That one's still pretty good, but the Model S with the 2 engines, that motherfucker can cook. Were you in one?
No, I was
Okay.
driving behind one. We were both at the intersection turning left.
Were you in the Pontiac?
I was, yeah. I
Were you
challenged
trying to
them.
give him the grease?
I revved
Were
the
you in the
engine, man.
Tessie?
yeah.
Was it your bestie in the Tessie?
It
Yeah.
was my bestie in the Tessie, and I hit my gas. I floored it. He floored it too, and he was at the next exit before I made it, onto the interstate.
And you probably lost 4 fucking.
I bet 28,000 on that
Liters
bet
of
right there.
oil.
Yeah, the car blew up on the ride up, so it's theft.
I did.
Oh.
I had one pull out in front of me. I had a yellow arrow, and he was at a red light, and he went ahead of me, and I was like ready to hit my horn, and he was gone. Like I wouldn't have gotten even close to his bumper. If
you
I
were
would've
just
just hammered it down. I was just like, "It's my turn." Oh, he's gone. I don't even have time to do
He
that.
couldn't even hear the horn.
No,
That would have
gone.
been just honking it into space.
he knew he was pulling out ahead of me. He's like, "I can make this."
That
got
same
time.
day, you would probably know, and Gage knows it too. You probably know it too. But going on to 12 on 6, there's one corner before you get up there where there's a turn lane, and a lot of people hug the turn lane as
Yeah.
they kind of go around.
From Macaulay,
It's after Macaulay,
after Macaulay.
so it's like right across the street from that power plant.
Yep.
Kind of downhill.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Tesla, I'm assuming it was auto driving and it was following, and it goes in the turn lane and it wants to go straight. It gets almost to the curb where the grass starts, and it just fucking whips back over real quick. And we're like, oh, that maybe it was auto driving.
That was
who knows?
probably auto drive.
It was because
Yeah.
we met him on the highway and we passed him, and he's just sitting there on his phone with his hands up like this. I mean, yeah, it was definitely auto driving. It was dicey.
That's sketchy as fuck.
That's an expensive fix, and it's hard to get it in.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though, just fucking roll up into your car and be driving to the next wherever you're going and running a bunch of business meetings through emails, calling people?
Bullshit. You're playing Clash Royale.
You definitely are. You're watching
You're-
Rick and Morty.
You're
jerking
playing with
off.
IKEA.
They just downloaded Eggkia.
Yeah, you're building
That's your game.
IKEAs.
You're building an
Your
IKEA,
games.
man.
Yeah, for sure. They just added Stardew Valley to them, which is like a fucking solid game.
The game's been around for a decade.
Yeah, but
Long time.
imagine playing that shit in your car. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know. Could you guys hand over the wheels?
I couldn't. I have trust issues with having people I know drive.
You mean
Let
like if
alone-
I got a Tesla, or like let's say Star showed up in a Tesla, would you let us drive it?
No, I think he's saying, would you
Let
let a
the
car
autopilot
drive
drive.
you?
Oh,
Like, would you
you
feel
just-
comfortable?
No,
Some
Yeah.
iRobot stuff or what?
it would be the weirdest thing ever. So how does it even work? You punch in your GPS, your destination, and then you hit autopilot and you're rolling.
I think it just follows the white lines.
Well, there's got to be
Has
more to it than that.
sensors and
No.
knows how far things are ahead of you.
Does have 360 degrees of camera view.
Dude, there's got to be more to it than just following lines.
No. I mean, it's just no.
Because
So
what
what
if
if-
there's no lines?
It's
Yeah.
like a Floridian. They're just
What if you're on a
following the white
gravel road?
lines.
What if you're on a gravel road?
You can't drive on gravel with Teslas. Don't want to scratch the paint. Fuck that. I ain't gonna spend that kind of money on a car and then drive it on a gravy.
Are
Oh.
Teslas smart enough to know that like when you're up on like an autopilot, when you're on a dashed line and there's a car going pretty slow to like pass them?
Well,
I have
think
no
it'll
idea.
slow down.
But I
bet it would
think
too.
It depends on the white lines.
Superfan Matt is he's a big Tesla guy. So I think he should get this information and let us know.
Yeah, and I don't know how we just turned an NFL show into a Tesla show.
He can do his
easy.
second Tesla
We start talking about cars.
podcast.
Boom.
I'd like to learn more about Tesla. I saw a short video that Superfan Matt posted on Facebook about him. It's kind of interesting. I should have listened more.
Since the podcast was on,
should have listened.
Adam Thielen had a baby girl.
Oh, congratulations, Adam and Caitlin Thielen.
Congratulations.
And
to
what's
the
their little
Thielen
boy's
family.
name?
They have two.
Aiden.
Asher?
They have Asher.
Asher and one other one. They have two boys and now a girl. Okay.
This is Cora. Cora.
That's a good name.
I have swim trunks that were coral or salmon.
No, they were salmon.
They're now salmon. When I first bought them, I thought coral.
All right. Anything else NFL related, or should we wrap this beyond up?
Don't draft David Johnson.
Fuck
Congratulations, Carl
the
Nassib.
Apex Fantasy Superflex League. Y'all suck.
Go jerk off.
Goodbye.
Hudson is
Check
his
out our
second
website,
son. Asher and
www.officialbutthole.com.
And
We're on
Cora.
all socials at Official Butthole. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Music.
And
We'll see you next time.
Scrolls are up 1-0. They got road bases loaded with no outs.
My computer died.
Oh, yours did?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm charging it.
Are we
I'm-
still live now?
Oh, we are?
Gage hasn't shut it off yet. I've been charging it with a
Gage
phone
can shut
charger.
it off?
I have to shut it off, I guess.
Yeah.
Just shut it off.
Well, I mean, if yeah,
You didn't even talk about Scott trying to drown me.
that's on the next cast.
Oh, okay.
It definitely happened.